In this video, we're going to cover some pre-work for 2.4, 2-4. I can graph and write linear equations using slope-intercept form and point-slope form. This is going to assist us as we work with parallel and perpendicular lines. So let's start by defining slope. So slope of a line is the ratio of the change in y to the change in x between any 2 points. Now, when I say change, we can think of this as difference or subtraction. So oftentimes we'll see this as delta y over delta x. In math, delta, which is a Greek letter, it means difference, how it changes. Okay. Another formula you'll see, and you have seen, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And this is the slope. M is commonly used for the slope. So let's find the slope between the following 2 points. I can choose either of these to be my point 1 or point 2. So I'm going to choose it this way. I could have chosen the other. That doesn't matter as long as we keep it straight. So y2 minus y1, so I pull that number here, this number here, over x2 minus x1. Okay, so negative 5 minus 8, that's negative 13. 12 minus 3 is 9. So negative 13/9 is my slope. I prefer to keep it in improper fraction. Note that this is about negative 1.5. Okay, now let's find the slope of the other one. So this time I'm going to choose this to be my x2, y2. So I've got negative 8 minus negative 18. And negative 3 subtract 4. So when I subtract a negative, that becomes a positive. So negative 8 plus 18, that's 10, over negative 7. So we have negative 10/7 is our slope. So in our learning target, we had two different types of equations. So we have slope-intercept, and we have point-slope form. Okay, and these are named by what you are given. So if I have the slope and the intercept, I'm going to write this one. Okay, this is the one you're familiar with, y equals mx plus b. And the parameters, that just means m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So if I have the slope and intercept, I'm definitely just writing this, and I'm done. However, if I have the slope and 1 point, which is going to happen a lot in what we work with parallel and perpendicular lines, then I'm going to use the point-slope form. The point-slope form is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, now what we will often do is you will take this form and change it to the slope-intercept form, but we start by writing the point-slope form. Again, m is the slope, and x1, y1 is a point. Now, if we have been given 2 points, we use those to find the slope like we just practiced, and then you choose one of them to substitute in for x and y. And we should see that in some examples on the next page. Okay, so what we want to do is find the equation of a line given the following information. Now, we have a graph. So let's find the equation. For the graph, it is often easiest if you can find y equals mx plus b. So m is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So my y-intercept is the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. So that's a -3 or subtract 3. And then remember to find the slope on a line. There are multiple ways to do it. I prefer drawing what's called a slope triangle. So in the slope triangle, this gives us the change in y and the change in x. You have to draw the triangle between 2 points that you know for sure so that you can count. So this is 1 and this is 2, and then we put delta y over delta x. That's 2 over 1. So my equation here is y equals 2x, 2 over 1 equals 2, minus 3. And that's our equation for the graph. Okay, now slope in one point. This means we're going to use our point slope form. So y minus my y value, which is -9, equals 4 times x minus my x value of my point, which is 3. Now I rewrite this. Y plus 9 equals 4x minus 12. We subtract 9 from both sides, so y equals 4x minus 21. And that's our equation of the point and slope from slope and one point. So I took the point slope form and I transitioned that or transformed that to the y equals mx plus b form. You oftentimes will be asked to do that. So now let's find it from 2 points. First job is to find the slope from our y2 minus y1 formula over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to say 5 subtract 2 over 2 subtract 8. This is 3. 2 minus 8 is -6. So that looks like -1/2. So now I have my slope, and I choose one of these points. Whichever one I think is easier is usually the one I choose. So smaller numbers, positive numbers, that helps out. I go y minus 5 equals -1/2 x minus 2. Now I'm going to change that to slope-intercept form. -1/2 x plus 6. And there's so here's my point slope form. There's my slope-intercept form. And that is the review of the Algebra 1 skills we need as we move into looking at the equations of parallel and perpendicular lines in the next section. Thank you for watching.